Greetings. It's been too long. Welcome to Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, or with Tanisha Ali, and I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about my experience with a new loctician. Now, you all know I have been with Efraj for over 10 years. She is my number one go-to person for many reasons. The only other person I've had on my hair has been Nika, and she was my backup when I missed an appointment with Efraj or something else happened with scheduling and I was not able to see Efraj. Nika has also been wonderful, and she's been with me on this journey as well after about year 5. They are both wonderful locticians. They themselves, though, are very different. Also, you know that I have learned a lot on my journey with the Sisterlocks, and you all know one of the main things that I talk about is how to keep your hair healthy. Plug. I am Melanin Magic, and so are you. You can get those products at IamMelaninMagic.com. But I talk about some of the threats to the integrity of your hair, from too frequent retightnings or quality control with regard to retightenings, issues with locticians, some of the things that your hair needs, listening to your hair rather than listening to the brand, and many other things that have kind of come up on my journey, and also things that have come up by way of me interfacing with you all on this channel. Y'all have taught me a lot. I've been at this now for 10 years, y'all. I have learned a lot myself in making the effort to keep my hair healthy. I, as you know, still do the front of my hair myself. Now, this video's focus is my experience with a new loctician. Before I get into that, I just want to say to you that I had still done the front of my hair the day before I went to this loctician, and it hasn't been quite a week yet. That's how serious I am about trying to circumvent certain things happening with my hair that maybe could be controlled for. As you go longer in this journey, I feel that while for some of us, your hair regimen and the integrity of your hair may be strengthened, there are still those of us who need to be careful about what we do to our hair and who does what to our hair throughout this journey, because when you have a hairstyle that has certain habitual rituals that you have to do in order to maintain it, namely the retightenings, you have to be careful about what you do to your hair. You have to be careful about what you put on your hair, and you have to build your hair's capacity to withstand not only trauma, but day-to-day stresses and some of the other things that we deal with while we're trying to maintain healthy hair. Now, while I have a lot of content coming up for 2022, and y'all, I'm so excited. I've been on vacation for the last 2 weeks trying to get myself centered and get my focus and find my center of gravity as it relates to what I want to do in 2022, what things I'm going to focus on and what things I'm going to have to let go of, so that I can still maintain the quality of life that I want to be able to maintain. And one of those things I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into is I Am Melanin Magic. I want to give a shout out to all of you all who are giving the product accolades, who are finding that it's helping you with your hair, who are continuing to come back to the channel and purchase. If you haven't purchased already, or even if you have and you want to get the 20% discount that is still going on right now, please type in LOC channel, all caps, LOCCHANNEL at the checkout, and you will get the discount. So let's talk about this new loctician. Now, okay, I missed my last 2 appointments with Efraj. You guys know I moved out to the boonies. I'm 2.5 hours away from the metro area, and that's depending upon what part of the metro area you have to go to. Last week I had a appointment with an orthopedic surgeon, which I missed. It was a 3-hour ride, and that was in the metro area. So with me still transitioning since October and trying to figure out the flow of things, you know, I still have the physical office in the Snellville area, of which I'm going to be moving a little bit more away from. in terms of my practice, because a lot of my practice is gone online, but there's still activities that are going on there. I still gotta, see my girls and do all that stuff. And I have business that I still have to take care of in Atlanta. So I missed my last appointment, the last two. Needless to say, if you watch my last couple videos, my baths, which I take multiple times during the week, I do a lot of spiritual baths. I use my baths as a time to not only meditate, but to also give myself what I need and to refuel. My roots were just really crazy. And literally since October, I have had weeks on end where I haven't gone in and really checked my hair and unmarried and just really maintained it. So I was kind of in bad shape and I needed to see somebody that was close by. And so I set up hair, and this lady was brought to me. Her name is Kimberly, and she is in the Macon area. So she's about an hour from where I live. And I was led to her, and I have to say I had a very different experience. It was a very positive experience, and I do plan on turning some of the responsibility for the care of my hair over to Miss Kimberly, and I'm going to continue to monitor that process, as I still will keep Efraj as my primary when I can get back and forth to Atlanta. So that's going to take some finagling. So to start out with what she does differently and why I like some of what she has to say, and how we all can probably learn something from her as well, insofar as the things that actually make sense. I would like for you all to please leave stuff in the comment section and let me know what you think about some of this. All right. First of all, two things that stand out in my mind that will stand out in your mind is my retightening was over a 2-day period. The first day was 3 hours. I'm not going to add the half in because we stopped at about 3, 4, 5 minutes after the hour, and then there were a few interruptions throughout the retightening. Then I had to leave to go to the appointment, or the supposed appointment, in Atlanta. I came back the next day and I was there roughly for 5 hours. So my retightening, y'all, took 8 hours. Not because I had any more new growth than I normally have, because you all know I'm usually at 10 weeks on average. Every now and then I'll go a little bit beyond that, but it wasn't that I had more new growth than normal. This lady takes her time. I felt nothing during the retightening. She moves so strategically and so much with ease that I could have actually fallen asleep during my retightening. That's something that I'm really, really big on. Now, she is someone that typically likes a 4 to 6 week retightening schedule. Y'all know that I'm not about that 4 to 6 week retightening schedule. I will say a 6 to 8 week is probably, 7 to 8 weeks is probably best for most people. You have to find your sweet spot. Up until this time, my retightening schedule has been about every 10 weeks on average. Okay, you all know I have done a lot to my hair. My hair has many reasons to have rebelled. I've lost my lock ends at certain points on certain locks because of picking lint incessantly, doing things to my locks, trying to manage this process. I'm kind of a rebel. You also know, and you guys will notice, I always talk about that plucked chicken look, right? If y'all been watching my videos over the last several months, y'all know that this is where the plucked chicken look was always the worst, right? From this part, you could see all of this scalp, not since I've been using this. Fuzzies and all sorts of things are growing in. And it's not that my hair ever thinned here. It's just that it was never quite as full on this side as it was this side, as it was that way my entire life. And I don't know what moved me to experiment with this, but this has made a big difference. So I'm happy about this. Now, I plan to continue doing this part of my hair. We're still talking about it having taken 8 hours. All right. Y'all hear me talk about all the time, the nature of the retightening and the investment in your loctician is probably going to be the most important decision that you ever make long term. While our hair can withstand a little bit of abuse and battery here and there, and some dyeing and some drying and some other stuff, we're responsible for making sure that the frequency that we do the retightenings on whatever that schedule is that you're rotating on, that the person that is doing it is also not adding an additional load to your hair in terms of abuse because of the way they're retightening the way they are retightening meaning what in terms of the way, the frequency. The quality of the retightening, though, is more important than the frequency, meaning, are you hearing your hair tear? Are they pulling the hairs apart as you unmarry? How are they dealing with the tangles? Is your hair being retightened and pulled too tight during the retightening? And are the rotations too many to the point to where they're too tight on your scalp? And when you leave, if you're not in pain, you end up in pain over the next few days. So in that case, the retightening and the quality of it is more important than the frequency of the retightening. I will always say that. I don't feel that getting your hair retightened every 4 weeks is something that is good for you long term, because it's adding stress to your hair. However, what is adding more stress to your hair, you could be getting your hair retightened every 8 weeks, and the quality of that retightening, the fact that it hurts, the fact that the retightenings are too much, the fact that you have someone who is so obsessed with the grid that other things are happening during the retightening process, it's just not worth it. So we have to make a choice here, all right? Now, the lady that I'm seeing, I can tell she's a bit of a stickler for the grid. I'm not a stickler for the grid. Y'all know that. I've been retightening this up here, so this stuff up here is not perfect. I'm not going to get hung up on that. But she does an extremely neat job. Now, the other thing that she does that I think is worth noting, beautiful people, is that when she uses the Sisterlocks tool, y'all, she uses it only to open up the lock, and then she feeds the lock through and pulls it through with her hand. She seems to feel that using that tool and pulling it straight through can tear the hair. She also feels that oil is a necessity for the hair, and y'all know I'm all about that oil. So she's using my oil on my hair when she does my hair. Okay, moving forward. The other thing she says is that the drying, when the hair is dry, it's going to tear more, meaning it's lacking moisture, or, you know, whenever the hair is very dry, it's going to break. Now, y'all also know that I always wash my own hair. Now, this retightening took 8 hours without her washing my hair. She wants to take over my hair care routine and let me give her a try. This is a big step for me because I don't trust people with my hair, and I'm kind of a creature of habit, so this is going to be kind of difficult. Plus, I didn't get this far by not using this, and I've never been comfortable with turning my hair over to other people. It's a personality thing with me, and maybe it's a character flaw on some level. It's an idiosyncrasy, not a character flaw. But also, I watched too many people as I was matriculating through my 20s and 30s who went to the salon all the time and their hair still came out. And you know, with some of the stories on this channel, we have had many sisters who've been seeing the same person for umpteen years and they still end up losing their locks. And I'm not saying that that will happen because of the loctician, but what I'm saying is it is important that you be super involved in what is going on in your hair, and that you do not comfortably close your eyes and put on a blindfold and turn over the fate of your hair to another individual. One of the things I like about Miss Kimberly, though, in addition to the fact that she is a master cosmetologist and she has been caring for hair for decades, is that she is very knowledgeable about some things. So she wants to take over the hair care of my hair. She wants to put pomade on my hair while she's doing the retightenings, a Paul Mitchell product that she spoke about to smooth things out. I'm having a hard time with that. I don't think I'm going to go with that. It is light. I did feel it, but I don't feel that we need that on our locks, and I don't feel that I want to put anything else on my locks that have synthetic ingredients. Hence, y'all already know why I've invested in this, not to go back and put something synthetic on my hair. Although I know that sulfates can be important for people who need clarification, whose hair may be low porosity and all of that. But as a general rule, I don't feel like my hair has really needed that. And so I'm not going to go with that. I'm almost 100% positive. I don't even know that I want that to be on my hair even one time. But I would like for you all to sound off on that and let me know what you think. The other thing is she wants to give my hair a steam treatment at each retightening. Please let me know what you all think about the steam treatment at each retightening. She feels that it will help to open up the hair so that it can take products even better. That's something I'm definitely willing to consider, but I also know if I go there and she's washing my hair, that's also going to add to my retightening time. So we're looking at probably a retightening time that could be somewhere between probably realistically 6 and 8 to 9 hours plus the shampoo. Now, I did pay $225 for this service. Y'all have heard me say on the channel, if what you're getting is valuable and it's worth salvaging your locks and you agree with what is happening with your hair, then that is invaluable. So I have to keep that in mind. I'm not crazy about having to spend 7 or even 8 hours or more getting my hair retightening, especially if I'm doing that every 7 or 8 weeks. I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out and if that's going to last. I'm going to have to see something really different in my hair to continue moving forward with that type of a regimen. Now, perhaps if she's able to get me to try a 6-week retightening for 2 times, she says that I will be able to see some improvement and I will notice a difference with the different things she's doing with my hair. If I end up falling in at about 6 to 7 weeks and it takes some of the retightening time off, that would be something for me to consider. I'm not concerned with the retightening in and of itself at that frequency because of how gentle she is with my hair. And I know that that's going to take extra time. I love that. She really said that she does 1 client a day. She does not pack people in. She talked about the locticians that often will put too many people on their roster and end up actually marrying locks without letting people know because they're moving so fast, or actually skipping locks. And so you may have locks after you're retightening, a few really small ones that haven't actually been retightened. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I'm going to give her, oh, please tell me that this is record. Oh, I was getting ready to say if this was not recorded, I was about to have a fit. So y'all, this is, like I said, this is really new to me. I'd rather go in there with my hair washed already, the way it's always been washed, and me do the front and then sit down and let her do the rest of the hair. But I'm trying to learn to trust someone with my hair and to recognize that I don't have all the answers and that this could be the answer or that this is the answer to a prayer, and to just go in and just to fall back. Literally fall back as in stop trying to control things, but also fall back, you know, that little role-playing thing where you fall back into someone's arms and you wait for them to catch you, and it helps you to learn trust, and it helps you to gauge the degree and the level at which you trust naturally. So this is all like really, really, really big stuff, y'all. So I'm not 100% sure, which is why I wanted to see what you all think. Her retightenings are very tender on my hair. They feel wonderful. I don't have a problem with her doing my retightenings a little bit earlier than the way I normally get them done. If y'all watched my video about maybe 2 months ago, I started to talk to you all about beginning to try a different regimen on my hair because I am getting further along in my lock journey and it may be necessary for me to keep certain things in mind. The other thing I'm thinking about as well in terms of working with Miss Kimberly is the steaming that she wants to do, and a couple other things that are a little bit different. And this was very different when it comes down to locks that may be a little bit tangled. This is what she says, and I want y'all to give me your comment, because she gives the basis for this, or she gives a justification, a logical reasoning for doing this. When the hair sometimes is caught together, rather than try to pull it apart like this, she just clips the hair so that one piece of the hair remains with the lock and the other piece is separated from the other lock, so as not to be pulling on the hair, causing it to pop from both sides. I hadn't heard that much about cutting hair that was tangled. Typically when I mess around with my hair or when I'm doing my hair, I tend to kind of try to move it apart like this. It's not that she does not make an effort to separate like this, if in fact it's tangled, because I did spend a lot of time untangling my hair. Okay, and as far as I was concerned, it was very untangled. But as she began to move through different areas, I could tell with the way she wanted the grid, she didn't want any hair kind of intermixing with anything else. And so that was kind of interesting for me. And she could tell I was feeling a little bit some kind of way about a clip here or a clip there or a clip here or a clip there. So she wanted to assure me that there was a bona fide, logical reason for why she was doing this and why it was better for the hair overall in terms of preserving the health of the hair. I can tell you what that visit did do was that it did motivate me more to spend more time with my hair on a daily basis, going through, not on a daily basis, but maybe every 3 or 4 days, and just checking my parts and not waiting just until I wash my hair. Because quite frankly, if I allow her to wash my hair this next time, then I won't wash my hair again until I go to her. You know, you all know typically I don't wash my hair in between retightenings or every blue moon. Something would have to make me give me a solid reason for doing that. So this was all a very interesting visit with Miss Kimberly in Macon. Main Love, I think was the name of the salon. She's a wonderful lady. She's very well educated. Her energy is very, very good. She was very kind. She's very spiritual. She played spiritual music, gospel throughout the entire time. I really liked that. I liked the way she was able to fit me in, and I liked the way she was able to accommodate me. But more than anything else, I fell in love with the fact that by the time she had done 4, I thought she was still on the first one because I couldn't feel anything. That blew my mind. That really blew my mind. So these are all new things and things that I'm looking at in terms of trusting her over the next probably at least 1 or 2 retightenings to see what she does with my hair and how I feel about my hair, and whether or not perhaps moving to a different retightening schedule because of the fact that I can fall in love with the retightening because of the way that it is being done. I don't know. All of that remains to be seen, but I am, and I was excited about my experience, everyone. I would love to know what you think. Please sound off and let me know what you are experiencing with your locks, especially if you are beyond the 5th year in particular and you've been doing retightenings on, say, a 6, 7, or 8 week schedule. Please also let me know if you're experiencing any thinning, and if you are experiencing the thinning, where it is happening. My caveat to all of you and my recommendation to everyone who watches this video is maintain vigilance over your hair and know what is happening with your hair. If you have some thinning locks, if you have some locks that you have to marry, which she's actually against because she says the only reason why you would have to marry some locks is because they were too thin in the first place. So that's interesting because you all know I have quite a few of thin locks up in here because of the fact that mine were separated in the beginning because they were a little bit bigger than what I wanted. And that's on me. And Ephras just indulged me, and I would do the same thing today. I would still separate those locks and have them thinner. So, you know, thinning can come from a lot of different things. I also want you to, as you watch this video, to keep in mind the importance of eating healthy, to keep in mind the importance of drinking water on a regular basis and keeping stress low. If you don't have any issues with hair loss genetically, you know, anything that's happening from hormones or stress that you may be dealing with or something else, to do everything that you can to keep your hair healthy and to give your hair a cushion and something to fall back on, so that if you run into issues with regard to dyeing, y'all know I've dyed my hair dozens of times. Rinses, yes, but I actually use the dye at least 7, 8, 9 times on my hair, and I believe my hair would be a lot worse off if I was not using my go-to product. I know it would be. There would just be no way that my hair would be in the condition that it's in all by itself. But this has helped me to counteract some of the other things that I do to my hair. But I also feel the necessity to ramp up my hair care regimen more than before. And there are certain areas in here where I have very thin locks, or locks that are a little bit thinner than what I think will take me down the road, where I'm going to start using this and see how this is factoring in. Because I also noticed the last time I was doing my hair, I have a lot of stray hairs in here, and that could have something to do with the growth cycle. It could also have something to do with hair that was lost that is coming back. My hair is always frizzy. That's something that we can expect. But the point being, please keep an eye on what's happening with your hair. No matter what you have going on or who is doing your hair, please inspect your hair, know where your weak areas are, know where things are going on inside your hair that maybe your loctician either has not noticed or maybe has not had that frank conversation with you. Pay attention to areas where hair could be thinning, or you could be having, you know, balding. Pay attention to locks that have gotten thinner. Pay attention to what happens when you get a certain amount of time in your retightening cycle. Pay attention to your hair at least once or twice a week and go through and unmarry anything that feels like it's possibly marrying, okay? You're with Tanisha Ali of Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips and Potpourri. It is a wonderful, marvelous, harmonious 2022. Please, please, please have a wonderful, peaceful, productive, and prosperous new year, and create the reality that is your divine birthright. I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.